afternoon everyone, welcome back to the Nature Patch. My name's Robin and welcome to the August garden tour. I'm doing monthly garden tours to show you all an update of the garden, what's been growing well, what hasn't been, and also just to give myself a little bit of a diary to know how fast things are growing and to remember things for next year. So it's been a beautiful overcast day today and I am so thankful for that. We've had showers on and off and we have really needed some of the rain, even though it has been just a few mils here and there. At least it's something just to get the ground wet, to get the grass a little greener, and the plants have been loving it. So I'm going to start the tour today showing you how all of my seedlings are going. They're all growing quite fast and I'm actually going away for a few days, so as soon as I get back I am potting them up and getting some in the ground. So I will show you all of my tomato seedlings first and show you how they're doing. So I had them all outside just to get a little bit of rain. Those are my okra that had fallen down. I think a bird or something was getting into these. Yeah, so these are how all of the tomatoes started out. I've also got some Cape gooseberries growing nicely in there. So I planted them all in little pots and then I was pricking them out to put in their individual pots over here. So I've got 8 varieties of the larger tomatoes and 8 varieties of the cherry tomatoes, or the smaller grape size. So I'll be pricking these out when I get back, and I'm only growing 3 of each, and then all of the rest are going to friends and for plant swaps. So I've got my red and green okra doing really well, and then all of my little tomato seedlings are growing nicely. And then over from there I have my 2 raised beds out the front of the house, and I have placed quite a few pots in here because I need to amend the soil and add more compost into it before I can actually plant plants in it. But for now the pots are all doing well. They're just nicely compacting what's in there. Got succulents, some spearmint, lemon verbena up the back. And then this bed here has some of my garlic in it, which is struggling. Again, I need to top this bed up. All of my daisies got chewed by a possum. The cornflowers are actually starting to flower. So they're all doing nicely, and the kale has grown a lot as well, but it was munched by something that came along and had a nice good feed. Same with the spinach. Nicely chewed, and this daisy was also chewed, but these are pretty hardy, so I think this will come back fine. I'm probably going to put a little fence up on the side of it to keep animals out. And one of my daffodils is also popped up, so I put these bulbs in here with not very high hopes, but we have some daffodils, which is exciting. So I have some more in that pot over there, but we'll see how they go. The dwarf lemon is doing great. The flowers smell absolutely amazing. And the branches are just absolutely covered in flowers. I gave this a really good trim and it seemed to really like that. It had heaps of lemons on it, but I actually just kept 2 of the most healthy lemons, because I wanted it to put all of its energy into forming those, but as you can see it's putting a lot of energy into flowering. So these are the first lemons that I've gotten from this tree, so I'm excited for that, and I'm sure we will have many more to come. Okay, so now I'll take you over to the other seedlings and show you how they're doing. I've also got some herbs out the front, but I'm not really going to go through those, otherwise we'll be here for ages. But as you can see, they're all getting ready to be potted on. I've got some sage doing well, the asters I'm really excited for, some dill, chervil, sorrel, and lemon coriander, which smells absolutely amazing. I've got quite a few flowers in here, some more alyssums and calendula, some more greens in here, Chinese broccoli, mustard greens and some celery, My sunflowers have come up now, and heaps of seedlings coming up here. I'm super excited about these salmon rose zinnias. The colour of these is going to be amazing. My comfrey has also decided to join us. Thank you very much. And all my cornflowers. Got some lavender, which is taking a while to germinate. They typically take a while. And some more pink or light pink to orange calendula, which I'm excited for. So we're doing quite well here. Mind the washing, and then everything that I have potted on is down here. It is all getting ready to go out. Some things are being eaten. But I've got lots of borage here. The cos lettuce is just very ready to go. Lots of greens, endive. I've potted up lots of coriander and parsley, chamomile, more flat leaf parsley and marigolds, and my dahlias are also doing really well. So the plan is for a lot of these is to use them in plant swaps. So there's a local plant swap coming up next month. So I'm reserving quite a few plants that I don't need so that I can swap them for things like eggs and honey, horse manure, compost. There's heaps of things that people bring to the plant swap. I've actually never been to a plant swap before, so I'm really excited to go to my local crop swap, plant swap, food swap, whatever you want to call it, to start meeting more people as well. And I would highly recommend finding a local one in your community to support other gardeners and like-minded people as well. Right, so I'm going to move on to show you what's happening in these beds here. Not a lot, I'm going to tell you that now, and I will show you why. Okay, so this is the state of the beds at the moment. This one here is the bed that I'm adding a lot of my kitchen scraps to, and is looking amazing in there right now. It's really breaking down quickly and making like a nice quick compost. So I'm not going to be planting anything in there for another few weeks, but this will be a lot of zucchinis and melons in here. And then this bed here has got like a ton of fungi in it that's growing, which I know is a good sign, but it's kind of taking over the lettuce. So yeah, and then there's some more there. So I think this was just with, I've dumped in a few different potting soils in here, random stuff that I have around, and I think one of them had that fungal spores in it. But I will be adding a lot of my compost into here, so I know it's going to be fine when I plant into it. This bed here I took everything up, and as you can see it really needs a refill, so I am going to refill this with compost when I get back. And then this bed here, I'm having serious problems with a fungal disease. I'll put the name of what I think it is on the screen, but basically the seedlings start fine and then they just don't grow and they just die. So I'm gonna need to quite possibly pull all of this up and start from scratch, or see if it gets better in the summer months, because I know the fungus that I think this bed has really likes cooler weather, cooler damp conditions. So I'm going to see how this does in summer as well, or I can plant larger things in here that aren't so much affected and can have a better relationship with dealing with fungus. But yeah, I'm really disappointed in this bed actually. It's such good soil, but that doesn't really matter when you have a fungal problems. But what isn't disappointing is this bed here. So in here I have my snow peas finally forming flowers. So we're gonna have some nice snow peas soon. These are the Melting Mammoth snow peas, and they're just on tomato supports, I believe. Just kind of made like a makeshift wigwam. There is the first little snow pea. Yee, so exciting. And I have my first few nasturtium flowers coming up. They're really happy. And then the other day I planted some Hong Kong broccoli in here, so they seem to be doing great, a whole row. The lettuce is all doing great. The beetroot is quite slow. Oh, there's a really hairy caterpillar in there. Ew. Like, I can't really see too many good sized bulbs yet. It's a bit hard to show. But I know this happened last time and then they all bulbed up really quickly. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on them. A lot of the pak choi or bok choy, I can't remember what it's called, is all going to seed. So I need to get that out. And then the lettuce grows. It's like it doubles every few days in size. It's massive at the moment. So they're all really happy, and they're all different sizes, which is good, so I can pick them as I need them. Got some curly lettuce, some leeks, another nasturtium that I don't think it has flowers on it yet. No, it kind of got a bit blown over by the wind. And then some kale that was growing in my compost that I just chucked in there. It's doing well. And I planted some more Hong Kong broccoli up there. Got some sugar snap peas on the end, but they're not doing great. They need some more water, so I need to get on top of that, but everything else is doing really nicely. And then in these beds, I took out a lot of the warrigal greens and they've all got babies coming up, so they should be fine. And popped some more leeks in here. And I pretty much eat parsley like every few days. This one has definitely been loved and eaten a lot. So they're going strong. This bed, the thyme is not that happy, not sure why, and the lavender has a nice little single flower on it. So that's what that's looking like. It's going to change a lot in the next few weeks. The beds need a lot of work, but I have compost ready so I can top them all up. And then moving over to the main patch, it's looking pretty sad. So this has been struggling because of lack of rain, pretty much. I've decided that I'm not going to have anything really small in this section anymore, like no salad greens, no radishes, maybe a few radishes because they do well. But yeah, this is just going to be for larger things like tomatoes, Cape gooseberries, okra, capsicums, because I just can't come up here and water all the time. I'm happy to do it if it's bigger things that are going to produce a little bit more, but for the really demanding things like rocket and some of the greens, it's just not really worth it. So this is kind of what it's looking like from the entry. I've actually started on the flower border here, and I'm struggling, sorry for the plane going overhead, I'm struggling with things eating things. Ugh. So my alyssum got eaten, the calendula is doing okay, got some more daffodils in this patch here. I'm not sure if they're going to come up or not. And then I have 2 patches of cornflowers and stock, and they've all come up nicely. And then moving down here, I've got some really sad salvias, which I don't think are going to survive. Small Swan River daisies, and the pineapple sage, which I tried to rescue, and it's actually quite happy. And another cornflower. And the goal for this is to have sunflowers behind them to create kind of a barrier here. But moving in, I'll show you a really quick overview of what's happening. So this no-dig bed here needs a bit of a top up, but the kale's doing okay. This one's doing nicely. Excited to have some of this, it feels really nice. I love this kind of kale. And then yeah, see, the beetroots didn't survive too well because they didn't really get a lot of rain, but these radishes are doing really nicely and they're actually all ready to come out of the ground, so I might have to pull some of these up actually. I think this one looks like a good one. Something's had a little bite of it, but that's pretty good. Okay. I might take out this one and that one. So spiky there. They can stay up there for now. So apart from the radishes, the snow peas are doing well. Some of the leeks are also getting some nice size on them. I did have some more rows of onions and leeks here, but I haven't really worried about them too much because I've decided to have tomatoes all through here. so I'm not going to worry about them too much. This random volunteer tomato is doing really nicely, and I've been picking off some flowers, but I think next time it flowers I'm just going to let it go to fruit and start having tomatoes from it. I think it's a cherry tomato, but we shall find out. Much water. And all of this here, I'm going to be planting my Cape gooseberries here, and the greens patch is doing nicely, and then the carrots here are doing really nicely. And yeah, and that's pretty much all of what's happening in here. So the next jobs to do is to take all this cardboard off and fluff up the soil in there and plant my okras along here and some capsicums. I'm going to have a path going in the middle and have okras on one side, capsicums on the other, probably some chilies through here, or maybe some more okra, and then either okra or tomatoes down the back here, something with a little bit more height just to give a nice little hedge. And my bush beans are going to go down the back, and I might actually put some bush beans on the side here as well. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to transform in the next month or so. I have successfully made a nice big barrel of compost, so I'm super excited to use that on the garden. I'm making kind of another really cold compost over there, but this soil needs a lot of work. It's rock hard. It took Scott and I like a solid 10 minutes just to dig some holes. It's got no life in the soil, and we need to amend that with a lot of compost by either layering it on or digging it in. So it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm excited to see how it's going to change. So that is about it for this month's garden tour. Really hope you enjoyed seeing how the garden is progressing. Let me know how your garden is going. I really hope wherever you are in the world you are getting good growing conditions, maybe a bit more rain than I am. But please like this video if you liked it, and comment down below how your garden's going. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one. Happy gardening. Bye.